Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be reviewing the GameSir Cyclone 2 gaming controller. It's the second TMR controller that I am reviewing on this channel. And this controller is available for $59.99 on Amazon, which sounds quite reasonable for a TMR controller. This controller has wired and wireless connectivity, interchangeable ABXY buttons, high-precision TMR joysticks, micro-switch Hall effect triggers that are toggleable. It also supports turbo and macro functions. By using the GameSir Connect software, you can map different buttons, adjust the sensitivity of the joysticks and triggers, adjust the vibration levels, and change RGB settings. This controller is compatible with PC, Android, Switch, and iOS. In today's review, we will explore these features of this controller, inspect its build quality, test the polling rate and latency, and at the end of this video, we will see the actual performance of this controller while playing different games. So let's start this review with a quick unboxing. So let's see what's inside the box. This controller came with a charging dock and it's made of metal and plastic, and underneath it has rubber anti-skid pads. It has some reasonable weight and it feels well built. This dock has a USB Type A and USB Type C port that can be used for the dongle and the charging cable. You will get a pretty small dongle, which is responsible for the 2.4 GHz wireless connectivity. You will also get a USB Type-C cable. It's not braided, but it's made of good quality plastic and has reasonable length. Inside the box, you will find a small package that has a contact information card, a GameSir sticker, and a user manual. Reading the user manual of this controller is a must, especially if you want to adjust the settings, set macros, and the turbo function without using the software. And finally, in the box, you will find the controller itself. The controller is made of good quality plastic. The plastic is semi-transparent and you can see inside. The weight is around 450 grams and it has an 860 mAh battery. I like the feeling of this controller and it doesn't rattle when I shake it. The grips are textured and it fits quite well in hands. I could not find any information regarding the charging time and battery life of this controller. I will update you guys about it in a follow-up video of this controller. The thumb grips are removable and this controller has some decent RGB effects. The controller illuminates from inside, so the RGBs on this controller are quite unique in this way. I am satisfied by the overall build quality of this controller. It is on par with some expensive controllers that I have used in the past. This controller has a 3.5 mm audio jack, which is becoming a novelty these days. On the back side, you will find two macro buttons which can be programmed, and they have a unique design that makes them easy to use. The joysticks feel amazing, and their thumb grips are made of a rubbery material that are comfortable for the thumbs. These are TMR joysticks and are highly sensitive. They can be adjusted to zero dead zone. These joysticks have anti-friction rings, so the gaming experience on this controller will be smooth. The controller is equipped with a tactile switch D-pad, which makes a satisfying clicking sound upon pressing, and it feels good. This controller has a menu, share, view, and M button, along with the home button. That is the logo of GameSir. This controller has micro switch ABXY buttons that feel good while pressing, and they make a nice clicking sound. They feel comfortable on the fingers. So if you are playing for a longer time, these buttons will not cause any blisters on your fingers. This controller has micro switch Hall effect triggers. You can adjust between the micro switch and the Hall effect trigger, conveniently placed inside the trigger. By using this switch, you can toggle between the two modes of this controller according to the games that you want to play. For example, if you want to play a shooting game, you can choose the micro switch. If you want to play a racing game, you can choose the Hall effect trigger. You can also adjust the sensitivity of this Hall trigger using the GameSir Connect software. The triggers are textured and they are made of a glossy transparent material. They are not painted, so that's a good thing because after a long time of use, these triggers, if they are painted, get worn out in my opinion. The shoulder buttons of this controller are also comfortable to press and they feel good on the fingers. The controller has charging pins on the backside and charging it is very easy. You just have to place it onto the charging dock and connect the charging dock to your PC or a power source. And you can also connect the 2.4 GHz wireless dongle onto this charger. In this way, you will not have to use an extra USB port for using this controller. This controller has some decent amount of vibration as well. Till now, I am satisfied by its build quality and materials. Now let's see how it actually performs. These joysticks are very responsive. You can adjust the sensitivity and dead zone of these joysticks in the GameSir Connect software. Their circularity is pretty impressive. There is only an error of 0.1%. And the D-pad is very responsive too, and it is working like it is supposed to work. I did not notice any mispress, and the other buttons worked flawlessly as well. I used the X input software to measure the polling rate and response time using the wired and wireless mode. And for the wireless mode, the polling rate was 1068 Hz and the response time 0.9 milliseconds. These numbers are very impressive for a budget level controller. I'm really impressed by GameSir that they have made such a fast controller packed with features and still the price is reasonable. And the polling rate for the wired mode was 1053 Hz and the response time was 0.9 milliseconds. Here is the GameSir Connect software. The controller was instantly detected by this software and the interface of this software is very easy and convenient to use. Everything is well laid out on one page. For example, here you can see the RGB settings of this controller. You can adjust the brightness, you can choose different colors and different modes, and you can adjust the speed of the color changes. And you can also adjust the trigger. You can adjust the trigger sensitivity. You can adjust the polling rate of this controller. You can also adjust the dead zone and anti-dead zone of this controller. You can swap and remap the buttons using this software so easily and conveniently. You can select macros as well. In addition to this, you can use the gyroscope. This controller has a 6-axis gyroscope as well, so you can adjust the settings of that as well. And you can save 4 profiles in this controller. This software is very simple and anyone can use it. It's not complicated. Most of the time controller softwares are complicated and you have to go to so many different pages to find a setting. But on the GameSir Connect software, everything is well laid out and you can easily use it. So till now, the build quality, the polling rate and response time of this controller has been top notch. Now let's see how this controller actually performs while playing different games. Here in this first clip, I'm playing Taken 8, which is a fighting game. And most of the time I use a controller with my PC for fighting games. The controller is very easy to hold. It's comfortable and it fits quite well in my hands. And the D-pad is just feeling amazing, especially the click is amazing. It doesn't feel bad on the thumb. And in addition to this, the ABXY buttons are working like a charm. I really like the feeling of this controller. You might think that I am exaggerating about this controller, but actually at this price point you cannot get a controller which has so many features and it performs like this. All the buttons feel so accurate and I did not notice any lag. So if you are looking for a controller for playing fighting games, this controller will do the job. Now let's see how this controller performs while playing a third-person action cum platforming game called Tomb Raider. I did not notice any lag and the actions are instantly happening on the screen, so the buttons are accurate. Most of the time I have the tendency to press a button again and again because I think I might misstep or there will be a lag and I might not be able to jump properly. So while using this controller, I did not have to worry about such things. Especially while using cheaper controllers, you will have that experience. Here you can see when I jump, I will just press the button once and the action will happen. I do not have to repeatedly slam on the buttons for them to get registered. So you can play games easily using this controller and there is no delay or lags. So playing a game will be much easier and less stressful and more immersive. I am satisfied by the performance of this controller while playing this game. So if you're looking for a controller to play a third person or a platforming game, this controller can be a suitable choice as well. And for playing first person shooting games, you can just toggle the trigger to a micro switch and it will become just like a mouse. And you can effectively use the trigger for playing first person shooting games. Like I am playing Destiny 2 here and this controller is performing well. And while playing this game, the vibration was good, the aiming was right and the controls felt very nice, especially the thumbsticks. On the thumbsticks they have used a very nice rubbery material, so you will not get any blisters if you play the video games for a longer time. So this controller can be a good choice for playing first person shooting games because of the great combination of the TMR sticks, the triggers and the amazing response time. Now I selected the mode of the trigger that is more suitable for racing games, and you can furthermore adjust the sensitivity of the trigger in the GameSir Connect software for playing racing games as well. If you make it a little bit less sensitive, you will have more control over acceleration of the car. So if you are looking for a controller for playing racing games, this controller can also be considered. And this was all about today's review of the GameSir Cyclone 2 TMR gaming controller. I tried to review this controller in a simple and brief way. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you liked this video, a thumbs up will be really appreciated. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Till next time, have a good one.